Fethiye and I are like a well-oiled machine. Not like the first days. When we get to the site, Fethiye starts doing her job. She starts taking out all the utilities and puts all the stuff in the right places. And then after that, we start the surgery, almost like a surgical nurse. I say, give me the lever. Shock. I say, give me the sway bar. Shock. So the number one thing we do is when we get to our campsite, we do a survey. What does that mean? Surveying the campsite. First, we look at the balance. If the ground is balanced, if we have to take extra measures to bring the trailer into a terazi level. Number two is where is our hookup? That's important because we want to make sure that we can reach to the sewer, the electricity, water, and cable. Number three, we have to make sure that the slide out has enough space when we're all set up that we can extend. It is worse once you all settle and try to extend your slide and there's an obstacle which you have to move again. Usually all the campgrounds have their utilities on the left side of the trailer. That's where the connections are. And in this case, we have a pull-through, so it was very easy to determine what to do. And right behind me are the connections. This one here is water. This one is electricity. This one here is the sewer. And of course, we have the cable connection. That's our sewer line. That's where our electricity is. And we have water. Water is usually the longest because it's in the front of the RV.
First, I opened the doors to where the material is in, and then I take out the hose, and then electric cable, and then breakers.
Plus the sewer line.
Plus the sewer line. This is the water hose. This is the.
We also have to take that support for the sewer line. Yeah. Okay. And that one is the.
This is the water.
Correct.
Yeah. And then, of course, electric. And this is
the breaker. 30 amp breaker. Perfect. So you take that and put it where the electric outlet is, correct?
Yeah. And this is the cable TV.
Ah, so that's a cable connection.
Yes.
Okay, and take
cable connection here.
Perfect. And put that where the cable is. And one more thing, remember? Related with water. You take your hose and then what? What's in the back of the truck? Our purifier. Yes, look at that. That has to come out. Yes, I will have to help you. Hold on a sec. Okay, this one is the filter system. We have dual filter system, and it is very effective. This is what we attach the water line to this one. Someplace that it is not going to be on the way. Number two, we have a pressure gauge right over here. Actually, this stops overpressuring the RV lines. That's very important. So that's what we're going to connect first the pressure gauge. The trick on this, sometimes you may not be able to move the orange ring, so you just kind of help yourself with the body of the pressure gauge. And there it is. Just make sure that no crests on the line. And we connect the white side to the filter. I put water inside to run it. The reason I do that is that if your filter has been sitting for a day or two, you want to be able to make sure that the clean water goes through the filter. Number two, when I put the hose back together and store it, I empty the inside. So by filling up with water, we make sure that the hose is filled with water. Turn it off again. And there is a hose here. You just need to pull it through, and then open the cap. Once you set the hose in right, then you start twisting counterclockwise. Is next, put the cable, because the cable comes through the same hole. There's one side of the cable that opens up easily, that goes to the receptor, and the other side is right around the corner. We put it through, up, right in the middle, where it says cable, cable. Where it says cable, cable, the middle one, you attach it. Once you attach the cable, cable, you close this. That's it. We're done here. Once you are on cable connected, there is a red button inside the RV behind the TV where it disconnects the antenna. This way the cable connects, and you can, once you search channels, and you would search it from the satellite and cable versus antenna. Just like at home, you just connect the cable to the receptor. Water connection, we have cable connection, and I open up the water. Here you can tell it is 45 or so PSI. It doesn't go on to red, which means that the pressure is in legal levels. Now we're going to hook up the breaker first. There it is. It's 30 amp breaker. And there's the 30 amp connection. And then you turn on the breakers. Once you do, you have a green light. That means there's electricity on the box, and you're ready. You check the surge protector light, protected light, which is yellow. If that's on, that means that the line is protected. Now we can hook up our cable, and our job is done here to the RV. Lift them up, and right where that says Furion, just a degree or two, right here, not straight up, but just like a 1 degree to the left. You push it, and then you twist it to the right. This way it locks itself, and then you turn the ring on, and it's...
We have electricity, we have water, we have cable team. Yay!
Now the fun part starts. The sewer entrance, you turn it off, clean it up. We pull this piece out, which is a cover. Do not forget it, do not lose it. Make sure you put it back, and we take our hose out. and then we put the cover back in. This is very important. If you lose this one, then you're gonna lose your...
Especially we saw this lose it people in dump station.
Yes.
Yeah.
They forget them over there.
Yeah.
So now we have, this is gonna be a bit risky. There's always a residual water, but the last water I usually drain are the gray water, so it's a soapy water, it's not poop. So wish me luck. Oh, there it is. This is a piece that is most important in the whole process. You take that, you just kind of gently tighten it, but I don't tie it too much. And then once it's tied, and I connect my sewer line to it. In order for the water and the line not to collapse on it, you just put this piece right here. Done. Connect it, support it, and that's it. We take these two pieces back to its storage space. Just in case you need an additional length on the sewer pipe, we have an extension right here. You just undo the ends and then you just kind of hook it up and extend it. Here we have gloves. If you desire to use it, here it is. We have a cloth that dries things up. Have a soap here. When everything is done, then I soap my hand. Let's go hook up the pipe and wash our hands. There's a spray port right here. On, turn it on, and all you need to do is press it straight in. There it is. Now it's all hooked, and we have water, and you can wash your hands. This is all in order, so you don't have to keep your hands washing, or you don't just do things first, such as doing the sewer line first, and you have dirty hand all throughout, getting all the other stuff done. Okay, we've done all our utilities. In order to recap, we start from the beginning. When we come to a campsite, number one, we survey the campsite. We look at the leveling. Number two, we look at all the connections, mainly electricity, water, cable, and sewer. There are 4 connections, and if you have a full hookup, these should be available at your site. We're pretty much connected. Now we can go and secure the RV. The reason I prefer that I do all this before I secure the RV, that if I have to move the RV even a foot or so, that I am not locked in. This way I have flexibility, and the RV is connected to the truck, and truck has the brakes and of course on the park, so the RV is not going anywhere. Now we're going to start securing the RV. Once we secure the RV, then we're going to separate the truck from the RV. So we have 2 means of securing the RV. Number one, we have blocks we put underneath the tires, each tire on either side. Number two, we have a chuck block, which is put in between 2 axles. We've already secured the trailer and we connected all the utilities. Now it's time to release the trailer from the truck. To do that, first we need to take out the chains, the safety belt, and electricity. Those are the ones that connect us to the truck. Number one, I take this, I put it underneath, and just hang it right there. Same thing goes for the other side. I take it from underneath the sway bar and hang it out there. The third one, there's a little hole here. You may just need to look. There's a hole here. You just need to release it. You take it out. And now you're just going to hang it over there. And now one more. We have electricity. Electricity is off. This is very important. It took me a couple times to figure out how to put this on. You put this one to the bottom, and the flat part is at the top. It goes back this way too, but then your brakes doesn't work and your electricity doesn't work. You want to make sure that this goes in right. So for that, this is 7-pin connector. You just put it down, you push it in, and then
lock it in.
It just locks it. This one locks it. This portion makes sure that it doesn't come out. So I just put this one down this way. The reason I put it down, straight down, when it rains, I want the rainwater just to go down instead of seeping into the holes. And we need to unlock the hitch. This one we use it for security. The top portion, the top one has to be the link. Yeah. Okay. And I'm not going to show you that. Don't take that. Once the combination is in place, you just turn it, just pull it out. This one is back, and you unleash it for the time being. Just keep it right here, because once we unhitch it, we're going to lock it back. This way, we are not letting somebody come in and put their truck and their hitch and then pull the truck away. So we need to take the ball out, but in order to take the ball out, we need to be able to release the sway bars. To do that, the best way to do it is to lift the trailer up to a level where there is tension is the lowest. If you try to do it right now, where the truck is sitting on it, then there's a lot of pressure in this one. You will probably hurt yourself. So that's very important. So you start extending it, and then you come here if you want. You're gonna see the bumper is gonna start coming up. Not yet. Now see, now it's the bumper is coming up. Up. Okay, so if you see the back, it's lift up, the bumper is up, and the pressure is pretty much released. The way I know that is when I try to take this out, I will see. Now, this piece is gonna move forward where the chain is. So therefore I put it here, I'm just gonna hold it, and I'm just gonna release it slowly to the other side. So as I'm holding it, I undo the lock right here. Okay, see how slowly it's just down? When you put the sway bar on, make sure that the chain faces upwards. Let's do it on the other side. On this one, it's going to go this way because the chain comes from this side. It's the opposite. So you want to make sure that way. I'm just going to hold it back. If that's what. Pull it out slowly. Oh, see? There's also almost no pressure at all. If I had not extended it earlier, the pressure will be so high it will be like a spring, and it will just spring forward. So those are out, and I keep it here, but I don't leave it on the truck, because once I did that and I just took the piece with me, and thank God I realized that it was on there, so it didn't fall off. this thing is out, that thing should start pulling down. But because the truck is on the brake, it is not coming out. I can do two things. I can try two things. I can try to extend a little bit. Okay, that's too much extension. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to the truck and release the brake and the park. But I release the park first and release the brake. Otherwise, you release the brake, the park is locked in. The differential locks up. So I release the park to neutral and then release the brake, just to make sure that the tension here is off and it will just fall off.
Yes. Clear.
We take these locks, pins, they are very important, and then I put the pin back in the way that I took it off. One. Number two, pull it back, put it through, and lock it. You've got two of these, and your leveler. You got two hitch slide bars, and then you have the level. You put them right over there. So taking the truck off from the hitch is complete. Now once this stage is complete, you come back here, you put the lock back in place, push it through, swing one. No, you have to push it and then swing it. Now it's locked. Once we separate it, the next stage is leveling stage. The way that we level is we look over here. See, I do have a gauge here. This one here is fairly good, and this one seems to be okay. And I can, what I also do is I just kind of walk back and I look at I look to see if it is level. What do you see? I think the front is too high, right? Yeah, the front is too high. So we're gonna bring the front down. And then eventually, John had given me an app. I put that app on the table, and that the app on the table inside also tells us if it is level or not. So let me bring it down a little bit.
Yeah, it's much better.
Okay, come back and look at the gauge.
Can even go a little bit more, but can even go just a tad more.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, because what I want is I want the water to go back where the holes are to drain, so it doesn't come this way; it just stays in the back.
Gotcha.
The trailer fairly stabilized, and it is now time to put the stabilizers down. This is the only time you put those down. If you do it any time earlier, then when you're trying to level it up or down, those legs will just restrict you. So once you know that you're leveled, that's when you just start your level. Again, this is forward, backwards. I always do trial and error. Okay, this time is right. Bring it down. Adjust where the leg is gonna sit. And that's it. Just lift them up just a little bit. All you're doing is you're just letting the pressure off the spring. So when we walk inside, it doesn't rock. We do the same thing on the back. So why don't you do the second one?
daha sonra.
A little bit more. Good. That's good.
Ayağın ağrısı falan unutmuş vaziyette.
Yeah, that's good. That's it. Right there. Okay, so we are done. The next stage will be bringing the slide out. Two things, John, on the slide. Number one, make sure that you are connected to electricity because the motors like full fresh power. And number two, you have to make sure it is leveled. So if it is not leveled and you try to take the slide out or try to put the slide back in, all it will do is it will just move around and it will not come squarely in, and it will jump track and it will create problems. So the very important point here is that when you put your slides in and out while you are on balanced and level ground. It is time to go in the RV and put the slide out. But before you do that, you have to have a lookout. If you have tight clearances, you have to have your lookout to look to see if the slide is gonna jam something or break or what have you. So let's do this in twofold. Let's look to see if we have proper clearance. We're done here as well. Now, this is coming out. This comes out about 1 meter, and the way I know it is, it's about, I do this one, this is how far it comes up. So it will probably come right where the brushes are. And if it goes any further, if there's a problem, John will let me know, don't go any further. I don't have any problem at the top. I have plenty of clearance. Only thing that I can think of is this side here. Come on in. I turn on the light. I can even turn on the light here. And this is our control panel. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. And here we have the first one, the slide button. The other one is for the awning. So this says in or out. We make sure that we're going to pull the slide out. Make sure nothing is slit in between. Sometimes, things you put in here may just roll and move. Make sure that everything is clear and you start the slide out. But you have to do it one big move. Do not stop in the middle unless you have to. Because if you have to, you do. But it's best if you can just do it one movement, so the motors know the timing and the length of the opening, and they remember that. If you stop it in the middle, then they forget that memory, so you don't know if it is fully open or not. So this is what the experts are recommending, and that's what I'm doing. Out. Now we have to look over here, John. Why don't you go outside and then see how far the slide is going to come out. What do you think?
Perfect.
It was perfect.
Yeah. No touch, and got another 10 inches left.
That's right. Okay, once the slide extends and stops, hold your button 3 to 4 seconds more. Don't lift your finger up as it just came out and rests. When you hold that button 3-4 times, that's when the motor's sensors will understand that they came to an end, and they readjust themselves so they're in sync. And let's start the awning. We do extend right here, and this is retreat, extend. And you look out to see there's nothing that is going to block it. See, it holds sometimes and it rolls in. All you need to do is just push it out.
Ah.
And make sure that you roll this dry. If it is not dry, let's say you have to roll it, it's wet because it's raining or what have you, then when you get to some place, when you have a chance, the first chance, you take it out and then let it dry and roll it back dry. You don't go too far. See right over there? If I go a little bit further, the connection to the roll takes all the pressure. In this way, subtle olduğu için, because it's rolled a little bit,
Gotcha.
It just doesn't put as much pressure to the attachment point. And then there is a little piece, once it dries, will fall off.
Okay.
This is it. Now, two things that are important for the awning. Number one, if it is raining, you don't want, if it is raining and it is downpour, you don't want to keep your awning open. But if it is just a light rain, what you're able to do is you can come here and you can break this piece, and that will just put a light drain so that the water at the top will not accumulate, that will just run off
On one side, huh?
on one side. For the sun, if the sun is coming down too low, then you're able to bring the other side down too, and that way you have a more protection. But you have to make sure that when you're rolling it back, this is up, straight. Number 3, I don't know, I forgot the count. When it's like this, it's very easy that you bash your head. I did that.
Oh,
I
no.
bashed my head, I hit it, and it just broke it open. So make sure that you don't run. So in this side, I just put that one on so that you don't run into the your head. The other side is more difficult because that's where you go to the truck and back, and if it is down, it's best if you put a towel or something, hangs out something that you don't hit it. If you do this one right here, you look at, see that, you go, see, it comes down. The pitch comes down, the pitch is steeper, and because the steeper pitch, no water will stay at the top. You can go over here.
Oh, nice.
It's wet, it just gets stuck sometimes.
Oh.
You just can. Okay.
Take it here.
All
I
right.
keep it here.
Underneath there, you just pull that out. We have a brand new one. 2 bags
Yeah.
in. Okay. So it's you put 2 bags in worth.
For 4, I think 4.
You do 4 spoons, okay? And then once that's done, and just and it goes down to your tank, and that will keep your tank smell nice,
Nice
right? And
also
decompose.
Compose, yeah.
Okay, now we're going to share with you how you open and close the shower door. Make sure that you have nothing hanging over,
Yeah.
and then you push that, and then you just kind of latch it. And when you're leaving, make sure you hold and push, and then let it go. Sometimes it doesn't go all the way, so just gently, you can gently work it in. If you do that after you take a shower and it's wet, make sure that you do not leave it wet, covered inside. You need to just pull the door open so that it will dry. Bathroom are tucked away while you're traveling. We push this one, we put this one right here,
Everything
and
is
that
here.
goes in there, and then the black bag goes underneath. So that one can stay because that's not rolling out. Hasn't done so for 7,500 miles. And make sure that your window, oh, now you can just use Febreze, good old Febreze, to just take the, as I said, the rain is here. The rain is here. What did we say? Just 5 seconds. Just 5 seconds to spare. The rain is here. What did we do with the truck? We made sure that the windows were closed. Now I don't have to worry about it. Otherwise, I'd be just running out. Experience, guys. Experience, experience, experience. What did the wise guy say? People learn from their mistakes. Yeah. But the wise people learn from others' mistakes. So, learn it from ours. Be a wise guy. As I mentioned earlier, once we put the cable in the right spot, you come here and you pull this one out, and there is a red button. I'm not sure if you see the red button right there. There's a red button. You press that and make sure that the red button is off. Is off. If the red button is on and the red light is showing, that means that the antenna is working. If you turn it off, then the cable is on. The TV remote, we turn on the TV and it says no signal. You press menu and then you go all the way down to the bottom right where it says channel. You press it. This one says at the top signal source antenna. You move it to the right and it says cable satellite, and then you move down one level and then press OK to search. Make sure when you come to your rest stop, turn on the, open up the refrigerator and look to see if the indicators are working. We put this on to gas and electric. Automatically it switches once the electricity is off. It goes on gas, and when the gas is not available, or when the electricity is available, it cuts off and it says AC. In this case, the AC is light on, the auto button is on, and it is on number 3, which is a fairly good cooling. When you press it, make sure that you hear this click sound. That's the lock. If you don't have the lock and you're driving, it just opens up and all your refrigerators on the floor. There it is, and you press it and you hear the lock go click. There's one more thing that is most important, is the heating ducts. The heating ducts are on the floor. There is one right behind the trash can, right over there. So when you're using it, make sure that the trash can is away so the heating duct doesn't melt it in the kitchen. The other heating duct is at the corner of the bedroom. This is actually a very dangerous location. We are hanging clothes. We shouldn't be. And here they are. See, there are 2 ducts, and one at the top, one at the bottom. Make sure that these ducts are not blocked. Otherwise, you can start a fire. Moving, we just push this down. We just lay this down on the floor. Otherwise, it will just fall all by itself and you never know what breaks. Is that the door is locked. We never use the door, we never lock it. But if you happen to use it and lock it, make sure that the latch is locked so that the door doesn't sling. And this particular door is off the track. And when you want to close it, all you need to do is just push it onto track and roll it. The RV is not leveled properly. The bathroom door doesn't lock properly. So make sure that either it's leveled right, or you just kind of pull it up a bit, probably a millimeter or 2, then the lock gets into the same level and locks it. Up, and then I just use my feet upward to make sure that the lock goes into the hole. Fethiye also has a message for you. When you're turning on the oven, the bottom side, the electronic starter is not working properly. So we're using a lighter to light up the oven. The lighter to where the gas is spewed, and instead of the little arc, your flame will start it. Make sure that when you're cooking, you turn on the fan right here, and then make sure that you turn on the fan at the top, but you open up the vent like that, and there's a button, you turn on the fan, so the cooking smoke goes up. Otherwise, this guy over here is so sensitive, it will start beeping. Make sure that once you're all done, you don't forget to turn off the vent and the fan, otherwise you'll burn it. Same thing goes here. I usually keep this light and this light on when we're eating, and turn off the top light off. Goes for the bedroom. I turn it off, and we have nice mood lights here. Woohoo! Look, either that or that. It's the reading lights right above your head. Make sure that when it's raining, close the hatch. Even though that they're designed not to take any water in, I prefer that it is closed so your bed stays dry. The emergency window opens this way. You just push it, you pull out the handle, and you push it. There's a little notch, you just leave it there. And if you have to use it, I guess you hold down to here, and then you just take the screen out and push the window out. But make sure that this one's closed, ring, and then put it back in its latch. That window stays open, and it happened to us. It flops pretty bad while you're driving, and it may even break.